One of the things that I think makes us special is that we do envelop people, that we ask people to get involved. That's what keeps our sense of community, whether we're growing or not, is to include people and get everyone involved. Anyone who wants to be involved, there's plenty to do. There's plenty to be involved with, and we just want to continue that with open arms.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Discover Seguin on location. And today we have the privilege of being in the mayor's office, Miss Donna Dodgen, and we're here with city manager Steve Parker as well. And we have had them on the show before in the studio, but the reason that we're having this episode is because there is something special that's going on September 30th. Tell me all about it. Who goes first?
So we're going to talk about the state of the city, and we want everyone to come. We're going to have an opportunity to talk about it in general and then break up into council districts and in the area where we can talk about with different department heads on different topics.
Yeah, I think the real mission is that, we've had so many people in the last couple of years move to Seguin. We're one of the fastest growing city in the entire region, third in the Austin, San Antonio mega region, 7 people a day moving to Seguin. And we're always trying to find ways to connect with those individuals and give them some insight of what's going on in our community, because they're a big part of that and so forth. And, even with that growth, though, it can cause a lot of panic if you don't understand all the things that the cities are doing to really ensure that, we're trying to grow responsibly. We've done every type of master plan they could do. And I think that's the biggest thing that comes back on these events, is that they're okay with the growth because they know some of the benefits related to retail and so forth that come with that, the economic prosperity, but it's also the fear of, how do we make sure we're growing responsibly? And I think the message that night will be really related to some of those major projects that are going to help us develop in a way that I think some other communities have missed the boat on, and really try to do that. So, we got a lot of orange cones in town. It'd be a great opportunity to come out and see exactly what those orange cones all mean, where they're at, how long they're going to be there, and so forth, and really get some perspective, because we have some amazing team. Our city directors are just incredible, and they've got some great projects going on, and they'd love to update you on them.
I think too, for me, it's about building relationships. It's about being open and honest and transparent. And we may go to clubs and we're asked to do different states of the city for different events and different groups. But I think it's important to do it for our city, because I want people to be able to come to us, trust us, talk to us. We're out and about all the time. Our directors are out and about. The city employees are out and about, and I'm out and about. Steve's out and about, and the council is as well. But it's about, let's get together and talk about it, and let's alleviate some fears, answer some questions, hear some concerns, ideas that maybe we haven't really even thought about, and let you know about what we're thinking and what our hopes and dreams are and long-term plans. Because I think for me, it's about building relationships. And right now, thinking about what's going on in our world, that's really important to me, to be able to communicate and build that trust.
Yeah, and I think that Seguin itself really has this open arms concept. We talked about it off camera a while ago. Coming here from different cities,
Right.
We realized that we quickly came here and people embraced us, and we want to extend that to the new people coming in. And like you said, calm the fears of the people who already live here. Because when you think growth, it tends to be negative.
But it's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary. Because you think, oh my gosh, what's going to happen to my stuff, me? Well, how's it going to affect me? Well, how am I going to end up having to change?
Right. And so you're going to be addressing a lot of these things. So tell me some of the things we're going to address there, not just the projects, but you talked about water, maybe. Like, what are some of the things
We're going to talk about the economic trends so people know what's happening with us and why people are wanting to come. And before we talk about that, I just want to share a little bit about us as community. One of the things that I think makes us special is that we do envelop people, that we ask people to get involved. That's what keeps our sense of community, whether we're growing or not, is to include people and get everyone involved. Anyone who wants to be involved, there's plenty to do. There's plenty to be involved with, and we just want to continue that with open arms and tell you what's there, what's happening, where you might be able to fit in with certain things, but yet alleviate some of those fears about water, about roads, about housing, about planning, about the long range plan for things, what's going on with our parks, what's going on in the whole retail world, what's coming to town that we can tell you about. Those sorts of things are really good teasers to make you come.
I've seen part of this presentation, so I know that you're going to get a lot out of it. So paint a picture for me. It's September 30th. It's a Tuesday. The presentation will be from, the kids, or the kickoff is at 6 p.m.
Right.
So tell me what this looks like and where's it at?
Yeah, it's at the Seguin Coliseum, just south of downtown. It'll start at 6. It's probably going to be about a 45-minute presentation between me and the mayor, really related to, based on all types of city projects, things that, really there's a lot of, we actually get a lot of misinformation on social media and so forth, and just people say, oh, I've heard this, I've heard that. Now's the chance to come out and actually hear it from the horse's mouth, and really get an idea of what the reality is,
or the cow's mouth in case of Chick-fil-A.
Yes, the cow's mouth in case of Chick-fil-A. But those are the number one things that we really want to make sure that people are aware about, and why we do stuff, and why growth is a little bit scary, but it's also important for the economic vitality. So many people are upset about the condition of the roads in Seguin, but we've made great strides, and I would love to be able to tell people the things we put in place to make sure we're changing that trajectory of roadway infrastructure and so forth. That doesn't change overnight, but if you would look at where we've come from in the last 3 or 4 years, it's really is amazing, and I think you would have a lot more faith in your city government if you realize how we're spending your money, being good stewards of it, and changing those things you want to change. But if we don't have you here, and we don't hear what you want to change, then that doesn't happen. And so that's why these state of the city events, getting involved in city council meetings, whatever, is very, very important, and just a great opportunity. And I think it'll be very engaging. Everybody that's we did a recent update to the chamber, and everybody was really pleased with some of the projects. We have the downtown hotel project, and when I first moved here, people didn't even know we had a downtown. They got a 4-story building downtown. Well, now we have a chance for a 100-room hotel. And, there'll be some discussions related to that and what that could do to change the great trajectory that the downtown's on. But this could be, really a life-changing project for the downtown area, and activated at night. People want more restaurants. They want more things to shop at. Spending money in your hometown is actually a really positive thing, and I think other people are tired of driving to New Braunfels, and I think we'd like that opportunity to explain why you may not have to drive to New Braunfels in the near future with some of the great projects we have in the queue. It's going to be exciting.
Renderings of a lot of these, so
Yeah.
come to this event, they can actually see some of the project renderings.
And it may not end up to be totally exactly like that, but it's a vision. And so I also want people to understand how it all works, because how I think it might work isn't really how it does. So trying to educate and explain that is really a goal that I have about how it comes to fruition. So we've worked on jobs, we work on houses, we work on schools, and then when all of that comes together and the economics is just right, then all that other stuff will come as well. It doesn't just that we build it and wait for all that other to happen, because it's your money and we can't do that far ahead of time. It's this sweet spot that we fit. And we live here too. We want it to be just as great as everyone else. And want to be good stewards. And we are really good stewards, and we really do care about what happens to Seguin, Texas. And I just want people to know that.
I love that. And you're going to have booths there from different people in the city and different project managers, I assume.
There'll be other parts of the city directors there, and they'll have presentations. We'll also break out into city council districts, so that folks can talk directly about what's happening there. We'll have folks moving through, talking about their specific areas. And you have to remember, this is the first one we've really done like this.
I was going to ask if this was the first one.
It's the first one we've done like this.
Okay.
It'll also be streamed that very first hour, so that you can watch it like that as well, and it will be taped so you can pick it up later. But it's important to come, I think, and be involved. And it will grow and change as things happen, because it is our first one.
Yeah.
So it may not be perfect, but we'll be good.
That's all right.
Yeah, and there'll be a lot of the different departments, really, I think that people will really love. Our engineering department will be there, so if you have specific questions about all the money we're spending on, various GLO drainage projects, drainage is a very important thing to us. Roadway maintenance, we'll have a 5-year plan there, just so people can say, "Hey, when is my street up, or is it even up? What's next in the queue?"
And how does that come about?
And how does that come about? Yeah. And so economic development, they'll be there to explain, why don't we have a HEB yet on the west side of town? What are the dynamics go into getting an HEB here? We recruit them all the time. We show them property, but it comes back to demographics of how many people live here, what their income levels are, how many people live within a certain mile radius of that. And then, but also the land that they like, they like hard corners of intersections. They also like it. That land has to be at the right price. That landowner has to want to sell it. It's just not the city building an HEB and say, HEB, come to our town. There's a lot of moving parts, and we do a really good job of telling our story.
Yeah.
And that's what we would like to express to our community, is the things we're doing to change the trajectory of Seguin. Because the number one thing that lady says over there in our city council is that we deserve nice things in Seguin. And if you look at some of the things coming to Seguin, I think you're really going to be impressed. Texas State Technical College, that is a game changer when you
Yeah.
try to change the demographics of your community. If you're relatively, you know, one in 4 school children here are at the poverty level, but you look over the last 4 to 5 years, our income levels have increased almost 25%. And these are some of the workforce development things we put into the program that have changed that. TSTC puts us on a whole new other level. Texas State Technical College, come to our community, would put that on a whole new level.
And so working with the schools to combine and wagon wheel about how then can we help folks continue on their education and work as a group, work as a region, work as a collaboratively, and then looking at, okay, to make folks successful at Texas State Technical College, to make them successful in any other certification program, do they need transportation? Do they need childcare? Those sorts of pieces, because those are important for our demographics. And so it's not just simply one piece. It's putting all those plans into place. We say all the time how much water we have and how well we're doing, but we're not sitting on our laurels. We're doing a plan to look at way further out. How are we going to get more water? What's going to happen with it? That sort of thing. Our electrical grid and what's going to happen there and what's that going to cost. That we're always forward planning. And so I want to tell people that.
Yeah.
I want to tell people that we're not just sitting and waiting and twiddling our thumbs, that we really are doing things and planning. It's just some of it is not sexy and not visible.
Right. And I think one of the things I've learned interviewing different people in the city is that this town for sure is forward thinking and this growth. They saw everybody around them grow. And when y'all started hitting those numbers, or maybe you did it way before then, but I've seen the visible plans come about saying, hey, we are going to have 17,000 more houses in the next,
Yeah.
X number of months. And we need to plan for that. We need to have retail. We need to have nice things for these
Right.
people here. And I agree.
And it was set up several mayors back. They really began working on it when they began working on economic development. They've been setting the stepping stones. So it's very important that we continue those building blocks so that we can manage, not control, but manage how it becomes and what we want it to be.
Yeah. The other thing I would say, not just regular everyday citizens coming to this thing, but if you own a business in Seguin or you're thinking of owning a business in Seguin, I think going to this event would help you just have a little bit more information on what you're going to do with your business, because we do have some big bucks people coming in,
Right.
right? And we still have these local mom and pops.
That are important to us.
Yeah, and
Very important.
right, what's that saying? Rising water lifts all boats.
Yeah.
We can all benefit from this, but I think they need to come and hear what's going on too, and know what's coming around the corner so they can make preparations as well.
Our small businesses are very important to us. They're the lifeblood of our volunteer organizations. They're the lifeblood of our fundraising. To be honest with you, the big business is very important, but it's a mixture of both of those, and they're all very important and very vested in our community. And so we want to continue to give them what they need.
Yeah.
That's what I think. It's just an important piece to involve them and to continue to listen and to shore them up, because we are important.
Is this event free or is it
Mhm.
There's a pre-event.
I did have a person ask me that the other day. Is this ticketed? And I went, oh no, just walk in.
So let's make sure, just no excuse.
No, but it was fascinating because I never dawned on me about that.
Yeah.
Steve pointed out to me the other day something interesting. When we were doing the state of the city for the chamber, he talked about the very first time he did it, and it was maybe 50 people there. We filled the room and sold out of tickets this last time. And a lot of those were other people in industries really interested in what's happening in Seguin, Texas.
Right. Yeah. We were.
That was fascinating. I really hadn't thought about it in that progression, but he was correct.
You're probably going to be packed on your event too. So
We're running our open, so you know. Yeah, we've pushed the time back so people can get there from work a little bit easier. Sometimes when you start an event at 5 or 5:30, it makes it a little harder.
Right. We
From
listened.
6 to 7 with the presentation and be there from 7 to 8 to really answer any detailed questions, longer if need be. But, you know, there's going to be every kind of department there that we have. We have a GIS department that has a ton of information on our website related to, you know, what's going on in your neighborhood. What is that permit for? What's that building going up for? You can find that permit online. You can find your information when your garbage pickup is or when your next brush collection. We'll be there to explain how all that works. Planning and codes. A lot of people have a lot of questions. Well, like, how's the city prevent growth or incentivize growth? There's standards of how we grow, and you know, planning and codes will be there to kind of explain, you know, what the zoning process is. You know, because it's very hard for a city to says, hey, landowner, you can't go build those homes on that property and sell them to people. You know, cities have a hard time stopping that. Even if you want to stop the growth, they'll develop in the county. But by bringing them into the city, you're getting city taxes, they're getting city services. But you know, if they're not, they're living in the county, then they're coming in using all the parks, the libraries, the roads, and you're not getting anything. And so, you know, they're going to build, you know, this whole region is going to grow whether we like it or not. But if we could do it smart, I think we'll be way ahead of the game. So it's really important to see some of the infrastructure projects of how we grow that smart because you know, a lot of the growth is on the north side. So we'll talk about Rudolph and Cordova be expanded to 5-lane roads, I-10 project going on 123 north of I-10. Then also the TxDOT expansion of 3 lanes in each road, each way. You know, those are all will give us the ability to really do things and be able to get places a lot quicker than some of these other places where you're stuck in traffic, you know, for 30 or 40 minutes when it used to take you 10 minutes. You know, Highway 46 will eventually be a parkway. We had meetings on it yesterday where it'll never get a stoplight between Seguin and Ruffles. You want to hear about that? Come talk to us. We'll tell you where that is in the process and we'll let you know what that means.
And it's not going to be comfortable. I mean, I'm not sugarcoating it. It's not going to be comfortable. But it's not comfortable when I clean out my closet and put stuff all around and then, you know, reorganize and then I like it when it's done and I put it all back. It's that same process. It's just making a salad.
Yeah.
And it's not pretty and it's not comfortable, but we need to do it and we need to do it smartly.
Yeah. And everybody needs to know what's going on so they can spread the word and spread the truth.
Yeah. Spread the truth. Yes.
Yeah.
Or ask if you don't know.
Yeah.
We'll tell you. I have no problem telling you. And usually I don't know, but I can ask.
Yeah. Okay. September 30th. It's a Tuesday, 6 o'clock, Coliseum. Free.
Parking.
Free.
Those are 2 important pieces, parking in Seguin, Texas.
Yeah.
But yes, so just come on down and hear about what's happening in your city, your hometown.
And it'll be live streamed on Facebook for those individuals who can't make it that night.
Right.
So.
Now, just the first piece will be. The breakout sessions will not be. But the first piece, which is the big general overall pieces of information, will be. And then we'll do it again. I promise. We'll do this again.
Yeah. It'll be bigger and better.
It'll be different, but it'll be better.
We're always going to improve.
Right. I hope.
Yeah. Well, thank you for visiting with us today on another episode of Discover Seguin. We'll see you on September 30th, and stay tuned for whatever else the mayor's going to have me interview some other people. Just know that. And so
yes, I keep giving her ideas.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.